Devil's Night Diary calls. Do you dare to open the pages of the unknown? The Curse of the Monkey's Ear, inspired by the works of Stephen King, written by Anthony Horowitz. In the heat of a sweltering summer afternoon, in the small, sleepy town of Dunbridge, the Thompson family sat together at their modest bungalow on Maple Avenue. It was a place where nothing out of the ordinary ever seemed to happen. But that was before the monkey's ear arrived. "So what happened in the story?" Oliver asked, turning his gaze toward his father. "We haven't finished it yet," his father, Sam, replied. That wasn't entirely true. Their literature teacher had finished reading the story, The Monkey's Paw by W. Jacobs, but Sam had been dozing off midway, caught up in his own thoughts as the oppressive heat baked the classroom windows. Oliver watched his father fiddle with a strange object, a dark, dried-up monkey's ear. It felt warm to the touch, unsettlingly soft and vaguely hairy. He'd been staring at it all afternoon, but it wasn't until now that Sam finally said something about it. "It would be bloody marvelous if it worked," he murmured. "What would you wish for, Dad?" Oliver asked, a skeptical grin curling on his lips. Sam held the monkey's ear up between his fingers and paused for dramatic effect. "I wish for a Rolls-Royce," he declared. "That's nonsense," his wife Jill muttered under her breath. The doorbell rang. Sam stared at Jill. A strange, tense silence filled the room. Jill sniffed in annoyance. Oliver rose from the sofa, rolling his eyes. "I'll get it." When Oliver opened the door, he was met by a small, bent Japanese man holding a brown paper bag. "Yes?" Oliver said, perplexed. "This is 32 Maple Avenue, yes?" the man asked. "Yeah," Oliver answered, frowning. The man held up the bag. "Your order. Sushi for 3 people." Oliver glanced back at Jill, who had come into the hallway behind him. "We didn't order sushi," she said flatly. The Japanese man nodded politely, thrusting the bag into Oliver's hand. "It's all paid for," he said, before turning away without waiting for a reply. With a puzzled expression, Oliver carried the bag into the kitchen, where Sam had already opened a beer. "What's that?" Sam asked, eyeing the bag. "I don't know. It's sushi," Oliver said, pulling the contents from the bag. 3 sets of chopsticks and 12 rolls of rice with crab meat and cucumber sat in a neat, unappetizing arrangement. Sam picked one up with his fingers and grimaced. "Disgusting," he muttered, tossing it back down. "Give it to the cat!" Jill snapped. Sam sighed. "Just for a moment. I thought that stupid monkey's ear actually worked. I thought you'd open the door and find a Rolls-Royce there. Wouldn't that have been great?" "A Rolls-Royce?" Jill scoffed. "We could never afford it. Think about the insurance." "What would you wish for, Mom?" Oliver asked, half joking. "I don't know," Jill said, as if considering it. "Maybe $1 million. I'd wish for the lottery win, of course." "All right, then," Sam raised the monkey's ear. "I wish for a ton of money." But nothing happened. No bell rang, no phone call. They finished dinner, and when the lottery was drawn later that night, Sam hadn't even gotten a single number correct. He slumped in bed, irritated and disappointed, yet still hopeful. The next day, however, something strange happened. Sam, doing his usual rounds as a parking enforcement officer, was jotting down tickets when he noticed a young woman kneeling under the hood of an old white van. He smiled to himself. The van had stopped illegally on a yellow line, which was exactly the kind of thing Sam loved to ticket. "You can't park here," he called out. The woman stood up, brushing off her hands. She was young, probably in her late 20s, with long dark hair and a friendly smile. "I'm terribly sorry. My van broke down, but I fixed it now. Please don't give me a ticket." "Well..." Sam hesitated. There was no reason to ticket her if she was about to move the van. "All right, I'll let you off this time." "Oh, thank you," she exclaimed. Reaching into the van, she grabbed a small tin with a yellow and black label, reading West End Farms. "Let me give you this," she said. "My family owns a small farm in Hertfordshire. We keep bees. It's the best honey in the county. I hope you enjoy it." Sam frowned but accepted the tin. He wasn't supposed to take gifts, but he couldn't help his curiosity. That evening, as the family sat at the table, Sam spread the honey on some toast. It was, in fact, delicious. Oliver smiled, happily munching away, but Jill, who was always on a diet, refused. "I don't know how we're going to pay for this washing machine," she muttered. The repairman had quoted $90 for the job. Her gaze fell upon the monkey's ear, still sitting on the sideboard. "It'd be nice if that stupid thing actually worked. I could wish for a new washing machine, a new house, or a new husband." "What's wrong with me?" Sam complained. Jill didn't even glance at him. "You don't make enough money, and you've lost your hair. You looked better when you were younger." The insult stung more than Jill realized. Sam frowned and grabbed the monkey's ear. "I wish I had my hair back," he muttered under his breath. "You're wasting your time," Jill said, not looking up. "You're bald now, and you'll stay that way. In fact, that ear has more hair than you do." The storm hit that night. The calm skies from earlier had changed dramatically. By midnight, the wind howled like a living thing, tearing branches off trees, rattling windows, and sending debris flying. Thunder clapped in the distance as lightning cracked across the sky. "What the hell is going on?" Jill cried. Sam rushed to the window, his pajamas clinging to his skin as rain battered the glass. "It's insane! This is a freak storm!" he shouted, barely able to see outside through the torrents of rain. The storm continued into the early morning. When the sun finally rose, the aftermath was terrifying. The chimney had been torn off, the roof had collapsed in spots. Sam's car had been flipped on its side. A section of the fence was missing. But what struck the family as odd was that their house had been the only one affected. The storm had raged just over their property, as if it had been aimed directly at them. "What the hell?" Jill wailed. "Why is this happening to us?" "It was a hurricane," Sam growled. "A freak hurricane. Nothing more." But Oliver, who had been quietly observing his parents, now understood. "It wasn't just the storm," he said softly. "It was the monkey's ear." Sam and Jill turned to him, confused. "No, Dad. You made 3 wishes, and they all came true. But they were twisted. The first was a Rolls Royce, but you got sushi instead. The second was money, but you got honey. And last night you wished for your hair back. What did you get? A freak storm. The ear didn't understand your wishes properly. It's like it's deaf." The realization hit them both like a punch to the gut. "I can't believe it," Sam whispered. "That stupid ear, it's deaf." "There's one wish left, though," Jill said, her eyes widening with sudden hope. "We can still wish for something." Oliver snatched the ear. "It's my wish. I'm going to get a new bike, or maybe—" "No!" Sam grabbed the ear from his son. "I'm the head of this house. I get to make the final wish." Oliver snatched it back. "I want it, Dad." "I wish you'd go to hell," Sam yelled. The words flew out before he could stop them. There was a sudden, violent flash, followed by a deafening explosion. A cloud of green smoke billowed into the room, and when it cleared, the monkey's ear lay on the kitchen table. But Oliver was gone. The silence in the room was heavy. Jill was the first to speak. "You idiot! You didn't mean it! You wished our son away!" Sam's face went pale. "It's the ear. It doesn't work right." But the damage was done. They searched for days, first in the woods behind their house, then in the river. They even moved to Hull in the hope of finding him, but there was no sign of Oliver. And so the Thompson family lives on in a world where one wish, just one, could unravel everything. And every night, Sam wonders if that final wish, made in anger, will come back to haunt him for the rest of his life. Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more mysteries await. Stay curious, but safe.